everybody. Mrs. Dudley here, hanging out with my buddy Dale. We are hanging out at his house today to do our horticulture demo, and really it's an exciting time to be working with someone. I know we're still keeping our distance and we're being safe. There are so many things that you can do and enjoy in the outdoors all year round. So I'm gracious for Dale coming to our aid and giving us the idea for all of these different interviews and series that we've been doing. And we're just going to learn a little bit more about this amazing advocate that we have in our corner. So,
thank you. Thank you, Mary. First of all, welcome to the community. And the story is so long here, but I'm just happy to have met you. I'm happy that we've come together and you've come down here to introduce what we're about to do. These are pretty tough times. These are tough times, and where we received an order from upstate to shelter in place, we now have the opportunity to garden in place, and that's what I've kind of labeled this. We need to garden in place. Everybody's trapped in the house, Mary. The families are together. You're inside. Some people think they can't come out, but it's time for us to spend time in the garden. It's time for us to grow our own food. It's time for us to grow our own herbs. It is time for us to reconnect with the earth.
I love that. Thank you.
Thank you.
And so, before we take a tour, I'd love to hear about how you got started. What sparked your interest in horticulture and being outside? Tell me a little bit about that.
Mary, I've lived in the West End all my life, okay? And as you can see here, we only have patches of soil. We only have so much room. So I would get out the garden, and back then we had roses in our yard, and I would go back, and they were wild. They were all over the place. And one day I said, you know what? These things are too wild. I'm just going to cut them back and cut them down. And I went out, and I hacked those bushes, those rose bushes down. And Mary, these are some nice roses, big roses, velvety roses, smell like perfume. And I whacked them all down. And I thought that I had really gotten rid of them. I turned around, they regrew, and they were beautiful. And, and that happened by mistake. So I decided one day, I said, I'll try to grow something. And I couldn't do it. So in high school, Taft High School, there were two new programs. One was riverboat maintenance, and these guys, went out on riverboats. And then there was the zoo. It was called Natural Resource Management. So I was the only student from Taft that signed up for Natural Resource Management. And there were 25 of us from different high schools. We all came together. I was the only African American, the first African American. We did not have a classroom. We conducted class in the commissary at the zoo. Our seats sat on a scale that they would weigh the stuff that came in on the trucks. We'd have to, when the trucks would come in, we'd have to get up, and the garage door would come up, and they would come in and put this stuff on a scale, and then take it into the commissary, and we put our desk back and go back to work. But we worked in all of the houses at the zoo, and we got to know the zookeepers. But one of those areas was the garden crew, and you had Jack and Pete. These guys were very cool, and we would ride on a pickup truck throughout the zoo and maintain that botanical garden. And that's where I learned a lot of stuff. The first day we came, I saw a side rolled up on a truck, and we laid side. And after I saw this, I said, you know what? I think I can do this stuff. And I came home, and I started to exercise it here on Dayton Street, and I've been doing it ever since.
You've definitely come a long way from not being able to grow anything. We're going to see some really exciting things today, and I hope you guys get some encouragement. I definitely want to drive home the point that Mr. Mallory is available for us.
Yes.
He's constantly, sending me inspirational things and being supportive. He has been a champion for our program since the day one. and he's just really well connected. So this is a fantastic resource that we have. And so if you have other questions that come up while we're talking and walking, definitely jot those down, send me an email, send me a text message, and we'll get those together. So this is a good friend and a great relationship that we have that will continue, I hope, for
No,
years
Mary,
and years.
this I hope that we are cemented together, because what happened was, when I went to Columbus as a state representative, I served on the agriculture committee, and I met Representative Jim Beakey, and we both served on that committee, and I watched him at work. That man is he's a genius, and he knows agriculture like the back of his hand. And he'll tell that story later on when you interview him. But he came to me and reminded me of something that my father wanted. My father wanted agriculture in the inner city. My father supported Representative Beakey on 4-H legislation. And my father came home and he attempted to do what we're doing now, okay? You gave us hope, and you give us hope, and the things that you've done are perfect, and especially for now. We have to grow our own food down. You see what's happening with the stores. But while we are trapped in our houses, and that is the point I wanted to bring up, is that we are approaching the growing season, and the planting season. And when it's time to plant. So we're racing against the clock. I saw your seed starting package. Man, that was beautiful. People have to understand, if you're going to use seed, start now. And planting season's in May, right?
That's right.
Okay, we're racing against May. We have to get started now. And the thing is, Mary, is that you are teaching students. You are teaching these students, and those are our future leaders in agriculture. You'll see more things that we have. 1890 land grant status. That was a resolution from Speaker Batchelder and I to create that at Central State. Hey, my parents, that's where they met, at Central State. Yeah, they have Mallory Lane up there dedicated to my father. The speaker did that for my father, okay, because my father wanted agriculture in an African-American college. And Ohio State University and Central State are the only two colleges in the state of Ohio with land grant status, 1890 land grant. And that was our resolution, Speaker Batchelder and I. So, Mary, I'm a workhorse, not a show horse. Okay, I did 25 years of General Electric aircraft engines. I have a GE work ethic, okay? And I apply that to everything that I do, to my politics, to my gardening. Hey, but this collaboration that you are in, and I'd like to welcome you into it, because we have so many partners. Some of them are political, some are in the teaching world, but you have the students on the ground. Hey, you have our future leaders, and they're so impressive that they move me. And I'm going to do everything that I can to make this succeed. We have, and you have so many partners that you pretty much blown us away. When this thing takes off, but this is the beginning. This is where we start. And one of my focuses, Mary, is the inner city. I want to teach these inner city kids how to grow things, inner city families how to grow things. Everybody's trapped. Hey, shelter in place. Now we garden in place, and we get going now. Okay?
Let's do it. All
Okay,
right.
you ready for the tour? So I've got some lilies here, got my boxwood here. Got my sedum that lines the yard. Now, my Japanese maple, Mary, I manicure this tree, and that's what I want some of your viewers to learn. I go through this tree, and anything that snaps off like that is brittle, because it's rubbery. You can bend everything. It's just like rubber. So if you go through and anything breaks, and that means it wasn't supposed to be there, it's dead. And I manicure this tree like this. I go over the whole thing, and I find anything that's bad and snap it off, okay? And that's why it is a decent looking Japanese maple.
That's great.
Okay, over here these have white flowers on the top of them. They grow about that high. White flowers on top of my ornamental grass here. You know how that gets pushes out. I've got more hibiscus.
What color are your hibiscus?
They are pink.
Nice.
And
So you cut them all the way down?
Yes, I do.
Every year?
Every year.
Okay.
And I don't know the name of these bushes, but you get the little white flowers on them. You have to help, with that stuff.
That's all right. Yeah, we'll all look into it. That's good.
Here are my roses, Mary. This may not look that good, but these need to be dead-headed. And on the roses, when people have roses, you need to cut it down to the fifth leaf. To the fifth leaf. And usually they'll produce. And these are peach colored. They're called Malibu.
Now, you mentioned deadheading. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, that is when you clip the dead growth from it up top, this kind of stuff, the old flower, and, you just kind of lightly go over the top of it. But these you clip back to the fifth leaf when you have roses.
Okay.
And a lot of people don't know that. But it's best to do that. And usually they pop up around Mother's Day. Okay? Now over here, my peonies are coming up. And those guys are pretty good. This is a plant, has a purple flower on it. And my boxwood, where I recently, when people do their bushes now, they're coming underneath. And that's where you do it. You come underneath, and at some point in the near future, I'm about to round this off. I was going to do it today, but now, over here are my mini roses. And these mini roses, let me show you here, Mary. Mini roses, what I'll do, I'll take these, and we talk about the deadheading. You see this stuff, see a little flower there, we just clip those off of here. And you got your new growth right there. It looks red. We just kind of go through and clip those berries, and anything that looks like it was a flower, because these will come back like crazy.
Now, what's that tool that you have? They look like scissors.
They look like scissors, but these are just some pruners.
Pruners, okay.
These are pruners. And, a lot of people call them scissors. That's why I kind of laughed when you said that. Let me have those scissors. But that's how you kind of do those. Now, in this bed, I've got rocks. So, when you get in here and do your weeding, you get in, and people like to rip. You need to tug on it. You need to get that root. Get it all away. And get that root, Mary. Get it out of there. Because if you just snatch a weed, then it's going to come right back. And these little, what are those, violets or something?
Violets, yeah, they're popping up all over.
They just grow everywhere in here. I've got little fields of them. Over here I've got my daylilies, and I've got my daffodils. My daffodils were pretty, they had their day. I've got my irises here, and they're two different colors. I think I have the purple, it's like half and half, and then a very light lavender.
Now, what's really cool, guys, if you take a look, so these two plants are, obviously both green, and they're growing very close to each other. So I wonder, what's an easy way to tell the difference between the iris and the daylily when you take a look at it?
Iris and the daylily, the sharper leaves, these look like blades. And then these look like, these almost look like a tube. You see that? How it's kind of tubular.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And I see these are sharper. These are kind of flat.
Right.
And it's almost a little bit blue, I think, when you kind of look at it. Whereas, these just have a different growth pattern. So the closer that you look, you'll be able to see, all these different plants right next to each other.
Well, what'll happen, Mary, in time, and you see that they're cluttered, and I probably need to split some of this. If you know some people, if you want some of these from here, from Dale Mallory's yard, I'll dig some of those up later on, and because I have to thin these out. These irises, the growth comes above ground, where you can just run your hand across and pull a couple of pieces and plant those, and keep going. But I line these up when I planted them. I line them up like soldiers, and that's why they look kind of uniform. But it gets wild. You can't control it. Hostas.
Now tell me about why you planted the hostas on this side and not on the other side.
Well, the hostas, I found that they grew better over here. They like the noon sun that comes here, because I get noon sun right here. And they seem to like it better here. I tried on the other side, and they halfway failed. And that's the thing, I tried some of this stuff on each side, and it's just strange, right?
Yeah, so you gotta keep trying.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, this is like the other plant that's on the other side. It has a purple flower. Hey, opens and closes. Opens and closes. Little flowers on it. Very cool plant.
All right, guys. So challenge accepted. We gotta ID this one.
Yes. Thank you, Mary.
You're welcome.
Okay, over here, my lily of the valley. And the lily of the valley takes over, as you can see. So I'll be digging some of these up if somebody wants some, because there's too many. Okay, I just want to talk about some of my tools. For one, Mary, I use a long shovel. You know, safety first. You have to have your eye protection. Eye protection. Do not just go out in the yard and start digging, grabbing gloves. We have to have our gloves. And this is my favorite shovel. You need your favorite tool. I can take this and work miracles, Mary. I can go in here and pull up a weed. This should be an extension of my body. I can pick it up like this, flip it away. I can go get that weed just like I did right there without touching anything, flick it away, okay? So instead of bending down, hurting your back and all this other stuff, just kind of poke down in there, get that guy, lift him up, and he's gone, okay? Now, what I do in longer spaces like you see against that rail, I'll go through and just kind of dig everything up and then come back with my rake. Hey. And this thing just sweeps across. I see people pull weeds, they bend over, they do all these things. And in gardening, you have to be kind of comfortable. Tools like this, underneath my Japanese maple. I'm gonna clear out around the tree. That's good for doing that, but you let the tool do the work. Right? When you use a tool, you don't try to kill yourself. You let it drop. Okay? That's what I learned at GE. You let the tool do the work. Bang. Bang. We used to practice ergonomics too at GE. We had ergonomic chairs. And then you just pull. But you let the tool do the work for you. And these are some of my favorite ones. These pruners here. I like this one. In a minute, I think I'll pick something on that bush and just snap it. This one is comfortable. Hey, good tools make a difference. So you see that, Mary? Hey, this is one of my favorites. This guy will just snap. Now that we have the time, we can take the time. You saw the pruners earlier. Some people, those are like scissors. You have to be careful. Safety first. Safety first. Hey, you have to have the right dress. You have to have the right tool. We use the spade here. What is that, trowel?
Yes, good.
Okay.
Baby shovel is what I hear most of the time.
A what?
A baby shovel.
A baby shovel? Okay. But that's good for your planting your other stuff.